to Two Birds. I'm Fiona and welcome back if you've practiced with me before. Today's class is the second in a 4-part series where we work toward a peak pose, and today's peak pose is called Astavakrasana or 8-angle pose, and it's a hand balancing or arm balancing pose with a lateral twist. And the pose is actually dedicated to a great sage called Astavakrasana in Hindu mythology. And it's told that when Astavakrasana was in his mother's womb, he laughed and made fun of his father when his father was trying to recite the Vedas, the sacred texts. And in a rage, his father cursed him, and he was born with 8 crooked limbs. And that's where the pose actually gets its name. So Asta means 8 and Vakra means bent or crooked. So the pose is actually a great opportunity to build upper body strength as well as wrist strength, core, particularly rotational core, your oblique muscles. And the pose also requires quite strong inner thighs, your hip adductors. So in preparation, we'll warm all those areas and get them ready, all the areas of our body that we'll recruit when we come to practice Astavakrasana toward the end of class. And I hope you enjoy. Thank you for joining. Namaste.
And begin your practice laying down on your back, bending your knees, placing your feet wide to the side edges of your mat, and inviting your knees to knock in toward one another. And when you arrive, just smooth the length of your spine into a straight line and reach both arms up toward the ceiling and cross your right arm over your left and take your crossed arms over your chest. Then just creep your fingers around your back, holding onto your shoulder blades. Now let your arms relax and your eyes to rest closed. And take a few deep breaths in and out through the nostrils, beginning to feed and direct your breath toward your belly. So there's very little movement under your arms across your chest, just colouring the lower portion of your lungs in with your breath. And sense your inhales ballooning your belly and your exhales initiating a feeling of release, letting your groin soften, your arms and your back body imprinting a little deeper into the support beneath you. On your next breath in, release and raise your arms up toward the ceiling. Hold there, and then just alternate opening and closing the palms and fingers. And do this quite energetically, as if you're starbursting the hands. So you feel some warmth traveling to the tops of your wrists and your forearms there, just warming up. And then recross your arms, left arm over the right, placing your arms across your chest and then wriggling your fingers around to your upper back, relaxing your elbows. And then just rearrange your lower body once you're settled, taking the soles of your feet together and letting your knees relax out wide to the side in reclined cobbler's pose, making a loose diamond shape with your legs. And again, just take a few cycles of breath here, consciously directing your breath into your belly so your breath touches and expands the lower lobes of your lungs. Place and part of your lungs where they're most receptive to absorbing oxygen, And take one more deep breath in and out here. And then unravel your arms, hands toward the ceiling, and we'll take a wrist stretch, taking your left hand to the back of your right fingers, and then just gently extending the fingers back. And then just switch hands, balancing out. And release. Close your knees in toward one another and float your arms out wide into a T, palms face down, and just start to go side to side with your knees, picking up your feet, just swaying the knees without actually touching them down. And just try and concentrate on moving comfortably and in agreement with your own core strength. And closer the knees come toward the floor, the more strength is required in your rotational core muscles to maintain that integrity in your movement. So just checking in, making sure both shoulder blades stay in touch with the floor, your front abdominals are engaged, your breast smooth. And when it feels natural for you, just bring the knees to the floor on your right side and just stay for a twist. Notice where you have space to send your breath in this shape. Your belly's compressed now, so just try and breathe above your belly and fill your left side ribs, your chest and your armpit with your breath. And taking one more deep breath in. Exhale, firm your belly, come back through center. You can take the knees to the floor there just to shift the hips a little to your right. Take the knees over to the left. So you're just monitoring and maneuvering yourself deliberately, checking in with your shape and your breath to find at ease in your twist. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, firm belly, come back to center, rolling back onto your back. And we'll transition into eagle pose on our backs now, crossing your right leg over your left and hooking your right toes under the left calf if it's available, or just stay with a simple cross of your legs, picking up the feet. Eagle arms now, taking your arms up toward the ceiling and then wrapping your left arm over your right. And either catching opposite shoulders there or press your palms and wrap here. Keeping the head resting, breathing in. Exhale, curl up and bring your elbows to knees. Inhale, lower back halfway. And continue on there. Focus on hugging your legs together so they're your inner thighs working there, and hollowing your belly as you curl in, minimizing the arch in your low back as you breathe in and extend away. And last one here, curl in and up, and then release. Just let your head rest back to the floor. Re-wrap your legs and your arms the opposite way. And take a breath in with your head resting back there. On your exhale, bring your elbows to your knees and then lower back halfway. Just warming up through the shoulders, the anterior core, your hip adductors also. Just zooming in on all those parts we'll recruit in our peak pose. And take your last curl here and release. Rest your head back, unravel your arms, your legs, and gather the knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a brief pause, a cycle of breath. And we'll transition onto all fours from here, either crossing at the ankles, catching your feet, rolling up and over the legs, or glide out to your side, make your way into tabletop. And you're just going to set the hands directly under the shoulders, spreading all your fingers, closing up the air pockets around the perimeter of your hands. So whenever we stand on our hands, and particularly in arm balances, it's important to place the hands quite deliberately. So this particular position is called Hasta Bandha, and you want to feel for keeping the palm's natural arch right in the center of your hands to help prevent any strain. And so you can lean your weight evenly into all the knuckles of your fingers, especially your index and thumb knuckle. From here, we're going to extend the right leg out to the side, lining your toes with your left knee, and seal your right heel to the floor. Just moving through 3 rounds of cat and cow. On an inhale, soften your belly, gently arch your spine. On an exhale, dome your spine, drop your gaze back toward your belly. 2 more rounds here, each direction. And we're just starting to mobilize your hips, warm your spine, and lengthen your inner thigh muscles. And coming back to neutral, turn your right toes out now to 3 o'clock, bending your knee, and just slide your right heel in a little toward the midline. And just explore a little circular movement in this shape. So you're kind of stirring your hip. And then circle back in the opposite direction. And coming back to center, stay grounded on your left knee and sweep your right leg now to the back of your mat. We're coming into modified side plank. So left knee lining up with your right toes, or if you'd like to add on, go ahead, extend your left leg to the back corner of your mat. 2 straight legs, right hand reaches up toward the ceiling. Standing on your left hand here, engaging Hasta Bandha. Take a deep breath in. On an exhale, thread your right hand under your torso, turning your belly button down toward the floor. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, and thread. We've got 4 more here, and wherever you're at, actively lifting and engaging your left side waist. Last one here. Go ahead, reach your top arm up, and then exhale, return to all fours and set up for the left side. Extending the left leg out to your left, sealing your heel, keep that constant foundation with your hands, and flow through 3 rounds, cat and cow. Taking your breath with you as you move. And then returning to neutral, turning your left toes out now to 9 o'clock, bending your left knee, slide the heel in just a little, and then circle and stir your hip. And circle back, opposite direction. And when you're ready, transitioning into your side plank, your version. Right hand's your foundation now, and your right knee can remain down or option to straighten both legs. Taking your left hand up toward the ceiling, breathing in. Exhale, send your left hand under your body. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale to curl. Inhale to reach up. 4 more here. Incorporating your breath with your movement, lifting the undercarriage of your torso so your obliques are engaged there, your rotational core muscles. And last one here. Reach the arm up and release, return to all fours. Shore up your hands there and step out to a plank pose. So hands stay underneath the shoulders, legs straighten, eyes forward, front body strong, breathing in. Exhale, take a slow lower to the floor, coming into Sphinx pose. Just walking out onto your forearms, taking the time to stretch all the tops of your feet back, legs engage, your navel drawing in and up. And then standing on your forearms and accentuating a smooth curve through your spine as you breathe your chest forward and up through your arms. And taking one more smooth breath in. Exhale, stay with me. We're going to interlace our fingers now, keeping the elbows shoulder width apart and coming into forearm plank. Belly and chest lift. Light tuck to your tailbone, and you're welcome to raise the knees or keep the knees on the floor. So from here we're just going to take a little tango, swaying and dipping your hips side to side. And as you continue, keep pushing down with everything you've got in contact with the mat. So you're harnessing that rebounding energy that's available to you to keep you feeling light and buoyant. And in your own rhythm here, come to land on your left hip and your left forearm, opening your body to the long edge of your mat. And from here we're going to zoom in on your hips in this final sequence before we really flow. So you're going to take your right fingertips in front of you and bending your right knee, taking your foot to the floor, and find your balance on your hip. And then flex your left foot, lift and hover your left leg, and then breathe in. Exhale, sweep your left leg forward. Exhale, send it back. And then just keep going like that. Try and maintain a steadiness in your torso as you move, engaging your left leg and just moving slow. And we're going to add on here, next time your left leg swims back, step your right toes over the leg, tap the floor, and then as your left leg comes forward, right toes step back. There's a little to coordinate, so take your time, find your rhythm. And last one here. Return your left leg straight, keep it hovering, toes flexed. Go ahead, reach your right arm up toward the ceiling. And now as you exhale, reach your left leg straight up toward your right hand and then lower down to a hover. Just a few more here. Last two. And release. Releasing your left foot to the floor now. Press up to sit. So fingertips, once you arrive, at either side of your hips, and allow your right knee just to relax out to the side. From here, point your left toes, gently lean your torso forward and raise your left leg. And then lower just to a hover. And we'll do 3 more here because they're really tough. Should be able to feel that in the hip flexors. And then release your foot down. Final stretch now. Go ahead, bend your left knee and point your left toes behind you. And then just gently lean back into your hands to lengthen, leaning the torso back so you can lengthen through the front of your left thigh. Just take 3 smooth cycles of breath. then coming back up, unravel the legs, make your way onto your right hip now, your right forearm, and we'll do that same sequence. Taking your right leg out straight, toes flexed, left knee bends, foot to the floor. Breathing in. Exhale, sweep your right leg forward. Inhale, take it back. And just keep going there, minimizing any swinging in your upper body, pressing down through your forearm so you don't collapse in the shoulder there. And then next time your right leg swims back, left foot steps over and taps, then step it back. And just continue there, left foot hopping now, right leg strong and straight. And last one. Keep your right leg lifted, left arm reaches up toward the ceiling now. On an exhale, right leg lifts up toward your left hand, and inhale, lower. Last two. And release, transitioning to sit upright here, right leg out straight. Your left knee can bend and open. And then pointing your right toes now, fingertips sort of in line with your upper thighs there. Just go ahead, try and raise the right leg and lower, just a few here. And let it go, moving into your quad stretch, bending your right knee, pointing your right toes behind you, and then leaning back into your hands any amount there. So you're just seeking sensation down the front of your right hip now. And take 2 more cycles of breath. And release, well done. So in your own time now, making your way into downward facing dog, taking the next few breaths to feel into this new shape, your first downward dog. Elongating the back of your body, and perhaps walking your heels out, swaying your hips, and paying special attention to your hand placement and the pressure into your inner hand. And then on your next breath in, just gazing forward, end of your exhale, travel to the top of your mat. And then when you arrive, take a halfway lift to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold and release. Rise to stand with your in-breath. And exhale, take a moment to pause, hands to your heart center. And we'll begin to flow with a little bit more cadence and rhythm now. Go ahead, link your thumbs, space your fingers, breathe in, reach your arms up and back. Exhale, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers and forward fold. Just take a soft bend in your knees there as you go. On your in-breath, release your hands to your shins, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips down, step your right foot back. Right knee to the floor, low lunge. Sweep the arms up on your inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor and stepping back into your plank pose. Breathing in, eyes forward. Breathing out, lower to the floor. Inhaling into a low, comfortable back bend, Bhujangasana. Exhale, roll back. Downward facing dog. Take a full cycle of breath. On your inhale, raise your right leg up and back. Exhale, step up to your hands, left knee to the floor, low lunge. Ground your right heel, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor and stepping up, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthening your waist. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, come to stand, circle the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart center. And we'll keep flowing. Link your thumbs, space your fingers, breathing in, arms overhead. Exhale, shoulder stretch, interlace your fingers behind your back, forward fold. Take an extra cycle of breath. Lift the shoulder heads up away from the floor. And then breathing in, release, halfway lift, looking forward. Exhale, step the left foot back, left knee to the floor, low lunge. Shore up your lower body, reach the arms, lengthening your waist. Exhale, hands to the floor, Vinyasa, stepping back, plank pose. Eyes forward, Chaturanga, low push-up. Upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe a full cycle of breath. On your inhale, left leg up and back, down dog splits. Exhale, left foot up to your hands, low lunge, right knee softly down. Arms rise with your in-breath. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping up. Breathing in, halfway lift, opening your chest. Exhale and fold. Root down through your feet, rise tall to stand. Hands to prayer at your heart. Full breath in and out. Breathe up toward your thumbs, down toward your belly. Next breath in, circle your arms overhead. Exhale and dive forward over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step your right foot back into runner's lunge. Here to pause. Stay on the fingertips, right leg engaged and straight. Breathe your chest forward. And then twist. Right hand stays down, left hand to the sky, revolving to your left. Initiating that spinal twist from your core. Rotating through your mid, upper back there as you send your gaze up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, eyes down, left hand down, frame your left foot, transitioning into down dog split. So send the left leg up and back behind you. And if it feels opening for you, option to bend your knee and open your hip. We're just here for a beat. Inhale, straighten and square your hips. Exhale, step the left foot up and turn your right heel flat. So you've got warrior legs there. Stay low. Taking your hands now to the inside of your left foot. And without letting the eyes of your left kneecap roll in, start to walk your hands out on a diagonal to your right, away from your left inner groins, opening through your left hip. So try to keep hugging your outer left buttocks in toward the midline. And just take 3 more cycles of breath. And start to walk the hands back, reframe your left foot, and then step up to the top of your mat. Breathing in, lift up halfway, stay with me. Exhale, left foot steps back now and find your runner's lunge. Pause for a beat of breath or 2 here, just tidy up your shape. Lift the back of your skull and just find a nice neat diagonal line all the way down to your left heel. And then move into your twist from here, left hand stays down, slowly reaching your right arm up toward the ceiling. And aiming to keep your pelvis level here, so you feel like your right hip if you feel like your right hip strayed to your right, just encourage it back to center, toward your midline. And one more deep breath in. Exhale, eyes down, hands down, down dog splits. Raise your right leg up and back. And then option to bend and open your hip there. Inhale back to center. Exhale, step back up to your hands, right foot forward, and ground your left heel in warrior feet. Hand shift to the inside of your right foot. And then continue to walk your torso long out to the left without letting your right knee follow you. Keep it tracking directly forward, kind of mirroring the shape of downward dog in your upper body here. Your waist lengthening out of your hips through the reach of your arms. And take a full breath in, exhale and release. And this time we step back through a vinyasa or step quietly back to your downward facing dog if you need to do less and rest. And we'll all meet up there. Hasta Bandha with the hands pushing the floor away. Just feeling for a mild inward rotation of your forearms as your weight lands toward your inner hands. Next breath in, raise your right leg up and back, down dog splits. Exhale, bend the knee, open your hip. Breathe in deeply, straighten and square your hips. Exhale, stepping up, warrior two now. Landing lightly, rising up with your inhale, and then just stay for a few breaths, finding your own expression of length and space in your body, even an equal engagement through your limbs, back to front, left to right. Breathing in, reverse your warrior, but reach your right arm straight up toward the ceiling so you feel like you're lifting your ribs up out of your waist. And then lunge just a little deeper into your right leg. And then return to your warrior two to transition. On your exhale, make your way into temple pose, facing the long edge of your mat. Turn your heels in, your toes angle out, hands to prayer at your heart. Just maximize your inner thigh effort here by dropping anchors into your heels and try to isometrically stretch the mat apart with your heels. Sink just a little lower. And then on your in-breath, straighten both legs, transition to triangle on your right. As you feel yourself breathe out, push firmly down into the feet. Firm the belly. And then just slowly extend the left arm overhead toward the front of your mat. Nice big lateral stretch. And then bend into your right knee, coming into extended side angle. Utthita Pashpa Konasana. Might like to lengthen the left foot away a little, get a longer, deeper stride. Take 3 more cycles of breath. And release, hands to the floor. Either take a vinyasa or step back to your downward facing dog. Just letting your breath prompt your movement. Moving slow. From downward facing dog, left leg up and back now, down dog splits. Bending your knee, open your hip. Inhale, straighten and square. Exhale, stepping up, left foot to your hands, warrior two. And just seal and ground your right heel. Try and ungrip your toes. And just feel for an open quality through your inner thighs. Breathing in, reverse your warrior. Left arm reaches straight up, finding length through the left side of your waist. And on an exhale, return to your warrior two. Breathing in. Exhale, temple pose, knees bend. 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock with your feet there. Tailbone extending down toward the floor. And you might like to shift your weight a little side to side to find your balance, perhaps exploring turning your toes out a little further. Inhale, 2 straight legs. On your exhale, transition into Trikonasana. On your left now, triangle pose. Arranging your feet, so left toes now point straight forward, your knees tracking forward. And then imagine you're drawing your shins up, so your kneecaps lift and your quads engage. And taking your right arm overhead now, extend and reach. And then take a slow bend into your left knee, moving into extended side angle. Just inviting your left side ribcage to lengthen out over your left thigh. Keep your left buttocks hugging in. Keep grounding your right heel. And take 2 more breaths. Exhale, hands to the floor and stepping back to your high push-up. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, a back bend of your choice. No rush. Exhale, downward facing dog. Making contact with your hands. Contact with your breath. And from here, we're going to transition to a seat. So taking a deep breath in, bending the knees, looking forward, and take a light hop to come to sit. And preparing for boat pose, Ardha Navasana. So from your sit bones, rock back onto the soft part of your buttocks, placing your hands to the back of your knees, floating the knees up, the legs up. Just using the leverage of your arms to draw your knees a little closer toward your chest. And then extend the front of your spine up. So if you feel like you're going to slouch, if you let go, just keep holding on. If you're feeling supported and strong, arms reach forward alongside your calves. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, feet to the floor and send your hands behind you, fingertips pointing toward the front edge of your mat. We're coming into reverse tabletop, initiating Hasta Bandha with your hands pushing into your feet and lifting up, using the strength of your glutes and hamstrings to support your front body there. You can drop the gaze back. We're just here for another cycle of breath. And gently release. Return to your boat pose, your version, hands or no hands here. Here for 5 breaths. Straight legs, bent legs. And release. Feet to the floor, and we'll lift up again into our reverse tabletop. So just try keep your weight even and balanced through your hands there as you lift up. And if you'd like to add on, you're feeling strong, nice one for the core. On your exhale, see if you can swing your buttocks back through the window of your arms, legs straighten, toes flexed, and again back to tabletop. And then on your exhale, swim your hips back, see if you can hover them standing on your hands. Breathing in, come to tabletop. Exhale, release your buttocks to the floor. Now with your hands behind you, just helping yourself along, move your way forward and make your way into Malasana Yogi squat, top of the mat. Adjust your feet nice and wide, turning the toes out, and just sitting down any amount on the back of your legs. And again, just give yourself a moment to find ease and comfort there, shifting your weight side to side, and then actively hugging your elbows to your knees, resisting with your knees, and then lean your torso a little further back, elongating your spine. And release hands to the floor, parallel the feet, and take gorilla arms now. We're going to send the palms of our hands underneath the soles of your feet. Keep a bend in your knees there. As you stand on your hands, take a halfway lift, reaching your waist long. Exhale, elbows float out wide and forward fold. Allow your head to drop heavy, your jaw can relax here. And then releasing your hands, inhale Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back now to set up for pyramid pose. Staggering your feet hips width apart for balance there. Hands to your hips and just slowly rise up, leading with your heart. Once you're upright, either catch opposite elbows behind your back or take reverse namaste with your palms. And then breathing in, opening your chest. Exhale to fold forward over the midline of your left leg. Stay for a few breaths here. Keep your feet strong and hugging the floor. And then on your inhale, push down through your left big toe, rise all the way back up. Take your left hand to your left hip and reach your right hand up toward the ceiling, breathing in. On your exhale again, reach forward, coming into revolved triangle pose, Paravita Trikonasana. Reaching forward with your right arm and then revolve to your left. Right hand to your outer knee, the shin or the floor. And then once your left shoulder rolls back, stacks over your right shoulder, take your left hand to the ceiling. So align yourself here by ensuring your head doesn't reach past your left shin. So you're just encouraging your left hip back in space. Grounding the feet. One more deep breath in. And slow transition into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, revolving opposite direction, left hand to the floor. And revolve to your right, floating your right leg, right arm, and just stay for a few breaths. Engaging the right leg, your inner thigh muscles working there to help stay lifted. And there's a rest coming up. Release, land lightly into a runner's lunge. Right foot to the back of your mat and go ahead, walk around to your right, facing the long edge of your mat. Spread leg forward fold, heels turn out. Wide stride, breathing in, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold in. Next breath in, lift and extend your torso, halfway lift, and then walk around to face the back of your mat, and we'll set up for the opposite side. Fingers framing your right toes now, adjust your feet hips width apart for pyramid pose, hands to your hips, coming upright first. And when you're steady, when you're ready, taking your preferred bind, either reverse prayer or take hold of your forearms behind. On an exhale, forward fold. Take the next few breaths to fold in your own comfortable range of motion. If you feel like your shoulders have collapsed forward, just gently encourage them to lift to invite your chest to open, just keeping the lungs available. Breathing in, coming all the way back up. Right hand to your right hip now, left hand to the ceiling. Breathing in. As you exhale, reach forward and then start to rotate to your right, placing your left hand, making your way into revolved triangle. It's a balance, a twist and a hamstring stretch all in the one go. Just take a shape that allows you to breathe comfortably. And one more deep breath in. Exhale, moving into your half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, right hand to the floor, revolving to your left now, left leg floats, activating your inner thighs, containing your abdominal core for balance. And then return to your runner's lunge lightly and pivot. A quarter turn to your left now for your wide-legged forward fold. And if you'd like to interlace your fingers behind your back and that feels casual and easeful for you, you can do it here. And if not, hands to the floor or your legs as you release and gently traction your spine down. Breathing in, lifting up halfway. Exhale, return and face the front of your mat. And if it's available to you, just go ahead, step your right foot all the way through and we'll meet up in a seated position. So final preparation here before we move to Astavakrasana. We're going to take a seated hip groin stretch. So a couple of options here, either placing your left foot to the floor and your knee bent and crossing your right ankle over your left knee. And then you can adjust your left heel in or further out to suit your flexibility. Or alternatively, cradling your right shin into your arms. Left leg would move out straight. And if you're cradling there, just encourage your right knee in toward your right armpit and flexing your right toes. And wherever you're at, continue to sit tall through your low back spine. We're here for a few breaths. Feel free to rock a little side to side. And then we'll transition now into our peak pose. So bringing all our core twists, upper body and inner thigh work together. From here, take your right leg up and over your right upper arm. So aim for your shoulder, even though it'll land on your upper right arm. So your leg's like a little backpack. And then firmly hug your right thigh to your arm to help fix it there. Now place your hands to the floor on either side of your hip, shoulder width apart. Activate Hasta Bandha with the hands, firmly grabbing the floor. And keep the pressure of your right leg on your upper arm. And then just cross your left foot over your right. So you're hooking your ankles, flexing your toes. From here we're going to take flight. Take a deep breath in. At the end of your exhale, abdominals firm. Look forward and lean your torso forward to pick up the buttocks. Bring your elbows over your wrists and shoot the legs out to your right. And then just slowly, slow motion, come on back, release, and I really hope that went well for you. We've got a second side to give it a go. This is my goofy side, left side now, but before we get there, before we get any air, we'll give our left hip a final stir, either taking your seated hip groin stretch or cradling your left shin into your arms. And just pause for a few breaths there. And as you attempt this pose on the left, think about hugging your outer elbows in close toward your ribs once you've got lift off. So we're hoping to prevent your outer shoulders dropping, and will help to stabilize your shoulders, which will give you kind of more access to strength and power in the pose. So from here, and when you're ready, taking your left leg over your left upper arm as high as you can toward your shoulder, and hug your inner thigh strongly in. This is why we did all the thigh master work at the start of the class. Place your hands to the floor, either side of your hips. Hook your right foot on top of your left foot. Flex the toes so they bind together. And then breathing in. Exhale, one smooth movement. Lift your buttocks, pour your weight forward, and kick the legs out straight to your left. So elbows are at a right angle here, like chaturanga arms. And we're not here for long. Release when you're ready. Well done. Let's all make our way onto our backs now, and we'll wind down. When you arrive, tucking your knees in toward your chest, and just let yourself land, let go of your effort. And we'll take our feet to the floor now, and widen your stance, walking your feet away from one another to the side edges of your mat. Take your arms out wide to a T, and when you're ready, just rocking your knees over to the left in a nice relaxed twist. Take a few breaths here. Start to deliberately lengthen your out-breath, so you encourage yourself toward a place of surrender. And then just switch sides, knees to your right, allowing your legs to soften and relax. And then just rolling back onto your back here. Tuck the knees in toward your chest. And either glide out to your right side or take a little rock and roll, come all the way up to sit. And we'll take our legs out wide into a V. Flexing the toes, kneecaps pointing toward the ceiling for Upavista Konasana, fingertips behind you. And then sit really tall through your spine. Breathe in deeply. And exhale. Forward fold any amount there without strain or over effort. And then just slowly making your way back up. Bringing the legs together now for our final forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Flexing the toes, take a deep breath in, reach your arms up toward the ceiling. And exhale, easeful forward fold there. Let your hands land either on your feet or beside your legs. Bow your head in, maybe close your eyes. And then just really slowly peeling up. Grab any extra layers if you'd like there for your rest pose, Savasana, or seated meditation. And just making your way there. Now, becoming into Savasana, just laying your legs out straight along the mat, placing your arms wide to the side of your body. And if you'd like extra support for your low back, you can always roll a blanket or take a pillow underneath your knees. And directing yourself toward rest for your last few minutes here. And Astavakrasana is said to have written many texts, and one of the passages is relevant here as you rest. And despite being born with a twisted body, the great sage emphasized the importance of not judging ourselves or others by superficial measure, that we have an opportunity to, I quote, set aside your body, sit in your own awareness. You will at once be happy, forever still, forever free. And just taking the next few minutes to completely surrender and rest. Inviting yourself to fully inhabit your body, feel all that you feel, sensations as it relaxes, your breath as it feeds and moves through your body. Just simply land in this moment right now. Take time to rest and reset. And then gently, gently drifting your awareness back. Take a deep breath into the full length of your body. And then wriggle your fingers, your toes, wake your body up. And if you are laying back there, just bending your knees and rolling out to your right side. Gently blinking the eyes open, letting the light in toward you. And then slowly dragging yourself all the way back up to sit. And I hope you've enjoyed this class. I hope you had some joy practicing it. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.